let's talk about week 13. We're officially in December. It's December football, baby. Yeah. Are you ready for December football? I certainly am. This is truly the time where we get to see, I know I've been saying it for weeks, this is truly the time, December, where we get to see who are the true contenders and the true pretenders. Yes, I know, we still have a month and a half because of that 17-game season, but this is the time where we get to see who is for real. For real. We get to see who clinches their spots into the postseason and who gets the boot, who gets the kick out of that playoff door. So we might get that answer this week. I mean, I think at least one of these things will be guaranteed. We get the answer to everybody's favorite winless team, that is the Detroit Lions, can inch closer to their destiny of being 16-1, as they'll potentially be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss to the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday. Meanwhile, Houston and Jacksonville can also be eliminated from contention this week and begin focusing on the draft. Oh wait, Houston doesn't have any picks anyway, but they need a number of things for that to happen. So eventually, over time, they'll get eliminated. So looking at the playoff picture, there's a lot of things to clear up. We got the usual suspects with the Cardinals, the Ravens, the Packers, Patriots, Titans, Bucks, Chiefs, Cowboys. Everything, still in a flux at the top 4 spots. But when we get to the rest, it's pretty wild. It is pretty wild. So there's still a lot of things to figure out as we head towards the stretch run of this season. So we begin this stretch run here and now with Thursday Night Football. Yes, we begin with the 2 teams that lost on Thanksgiving. I don't know why, I don't know how, but blame the NFL for this. The Dallas Cowboys travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Initially, I had the Cowboys to win this one, but once news broke out that Mike McCarthy was going to be coaching this game, and Taysom Hill's going to be starting, there's always a possibility that New Orleans can pull off an upset with Taysom starting. I think he'll run the offense a little bit better than Trevor Siemian will. I mean, sure, there'll be more running plays from New Orleans, but hey, anything can happen. So I'm going to go on a little bit of upset trend and pick New Orleans to win this one and, play a little spoiler to Dallas's chances at clinching the NFC East. Just a little bit. Then we get into the Sunday slate of games. The early morning action first. The New York Giants travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Giants are likely going to be without Daniel Jones in this one due to a neck strain he suffered in Week 12 against the Eagles. And he'll be resting at least for a week. So the Giants will trot out Mike Glennon. Yeah, everyone's favorite backup QB, Mike Glennon. So I expect the Dolphins defense to have another good outing, pouncing all over that blue New York candy ass. So I'm going to roll with the Dolphins on this one. The Indianapolis Colts travel to Houston to take on the Texans in Battle Red Day for Houston. But it'll be a bloodbath for the Colts as they look to bounce back from a gut-wrenching loss to Tampa Bay. And the Colts will simply put away a very lowly Houston team early and often. The Minnesota Vikings travel to Detroit to take on the winless Lions. As long as Kirk Cousins know which lineman to line up under center, the Vikings should have no problem taking care of the still winless Detroit Lions team. Clearly ready to take the number 1 overall pick in April. So I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one. The Philadelphia Eagles look to bounce back from their stunning upset defeat from the New York Giants, staying in New York to take on the New York Jets. Now, we don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to play in this game due to an ankle injury that Hurts suffered last week. But even then, if it's Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew starting, I think the Eagles can take care of business here in this one. Zach Wilson is not exactly lining things up. He's still turning the ball over. He has no offensive line to speak of. So I think the Eagles should be able to take care of them in this one. So the Arizona Cardinals return from their bye to take on the Chicago Bears for some Bears football. The Cardinals hope to have Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins back in this one. They've been off from recovery for over almost a month now. I think the Cardinals should easily take care of this one. I know there'll be a little bit of rust for Kyler and DeAndre, but the Cardinals will be back in, dishing out their brand of football once again. So I'm going with the Cardinals. In a big matchup of the week, the LA Chargers travel to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. This is going to be an exciting one with two teams going in opposite directions. The Chargers season is kind of free-falling in front of everyone's eyes. The Bengals, 2 straight wins, 2 big blowout wins. The Bengals are going to win a tightly contested contest in this one. I think their defense will make Justin Herbert's life a little more difficult than the Denver one did. So I'm going to roll the Bengals to win a close one in this game. The Tampa Bay Bucks take on the Atlanta Falcons. Cordell Patterson is productive for fantasy, but at the end of the day, the Bucks will steamroll the Falcons probably before the end of the third quarter. In the afternoon slate of games, the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the LA Rams. The Rams should be able to snap out of this 3-game skid, unless they shit the bed against a hapless Jaguars team that's likely primed to be officially eliminated from playoff football in about a week or two. So the Rams should be able to get back on track ahead of their big Week 14 matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. So the Washington football team goes to Vegas to roll the dice against the Raiders. This is another tough one to pick because both teams are coming off huge wins in Week 12. The Raiders got out of their funk on offense, and Washington is rolling on a 3-game winning streak. I did like the Raiders upset over the Cowboys, but I think Washington has a lot more to win, and they showed a lot more consistency, especially on offense. So I'm going to go with Washington in this one. The Baltimore Ravens take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in another AFC North showdown. I think Lamar Jackson is primed for a bounce back game because of the injuries to the Steelers defense. I don't know if they're getting TJ Watt back this week. I don't know if he's already back, but who knows? Meanwhile, the Steelers are just free falling too, with Big Ben being washed as hell, and with his free falling, the offense just can't do anything. But expect the Ravens and Lamar Jackson to bounce back after their ugly win over the Browns. So I'm going to roll with the Ravens. The 49ers take on the Seahawks in the flex out game from Sunday night. I expect the 49ers, even with Jimmy Garbage fail, to put the final nail in the Seahawks playoffs hopes, because I think the Hawks seem to have all but given up the season. Russell Wilson in that offense just hasn't seemed to have gotten in sync, even when he came back from injury. It's you would have thought that after 2 games or something that the Seahawks offense would have been clicking, but no, they still seem out of whack. So I think the Niners get the job done in Seattle, get their revenge, split the season series, and put the last nail in Seattle's playoff hopes. Then in the Sunday night game that did get flexed, the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, coming back from their bye to host the Broncos. The FC West is still pretty much up in the air, because the Broncos decided to, we're going to win a game against the Chargers in Week 12. So I guess now it becomes an important game. It's probably not going to be the blowout that everyone expected unless the Chiefs decide to make it one. The talent is there for the Chiefs to beat up on a still strong Denver defense, but, it's up to them and their talent to capitalize on it. So for as good of a defense as Denver is, I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. Then in the Monday night game, the New England Patriots take on the Buffalo Bills in a big AFC East matchup that everyone is waiting for. I thought early in the season that the Bills would run away with this division, but now this is pretty much the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight title on the line. This is kind of that big championship matchup that almost decides the fate of the AFC East. I guess you could call it that, because the winner of this, takes control of the division. I mean, they still face each other twice, one more time in New England, but it's kind of a big deal. in the Monday night in the closer of Week 13. So this is going to be a big test for Mac Jones and this reignited Patriots defense, traveling to Western New York. And while the Bills defense did lose Tre'Davious White, they still have enough talent and experience to go after the rookie Mac Jones. And it's going to be on the offense too, because Josh Allen and that high-powered Bills offense, they're pretty damn good to go up against anyone, and that includes New England and their strong-ass defense. But it's going to be up to Josh Allen to take care of the football, not make any crucial mistakes, and attack that Patriots defense. So for as good as football as the Patriots are doing, I'm going to roll with Buffalo in this one in a tightly contested battle for the AFC East. So those are my picks for Week 13. Let me know what you feel about them. I don't know how I'm doing in terms of picks, getting them right or wrong, but hey, we do this for fun. Let me know your picks however you can, whether it's on YouTube or on the Twitters and Instagrams.